Hey guys, welcome back to Homesteading Off the Grid. Welcome back to another morning ramble. And I don't know if you can see all these, they're flying away. There goes my favorite bird, the American Golden Finch. As of this recording, no, I don't know when you're watching this, but it happens to be Labor Day, September 3rd, 2018. And I'm gonna talk to you about work, about jobs. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I love mine. I love my job so much, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I can walk around barefooted. Look at this. No shoes, walk around barefooted all day in the grass. Why am I walking around barefooted on Labor Day? Because I can. No, I did a video here just, well, was it yesterday? Yeah, the one about our pets and animal intuition, and do our animals really know more than we think they do? I took a risk in making that video because I know that concept to a lot of folks sounds nuts, it sounds crazy, but again, and a lot of you say that's why you subscribe to this channel, you like the fact that I'm kind of genuine, and Dearly and our son Daniel, we don't script our shows, we just kind of give you an inside glimpse of our life. We are who we are. That video did really well because obviously a lot of other people have their own ideas, and the stories that have been coming in the comment section, if you guys go to that video, scroll down through the comments, you will hear some of the most amazing stories. Several people commented about how there was a cat at a nursing home somewhere, either in New England or Michigan or somewhere, but there's a cat that could tell when some of the residents of this nursing home were going to pass on, and that I should Google this cat. You know what's so ironic is there was an RN who works at that nursing home and who takes care of that cat, commented on that video and told a story about this animal's intuition, about knowing things without knowing in regard to the passing of patients. So you guys need to go find that comment on there and read that. That's amazing. There were several people that left comments about plants communicating through their root system, and some woman, and I don't discount anything, guys, just because I've never heard it before, because they don't talk to us about it on the MSM and stuff, and we all discount that. We don't even watch that, right? We've had that discussion. We don't watch the network that pushes the agenda from the left or the agenda from the right, because it's all spun, and we've tuned out. We've voted with our silence as far as the ratings go. That's what we love about our subscribers. You folks are the ones who think for yourselves. You have no agenda, and you will not allow other people's agendas to be pushed on you and control your life. That's why I'm up here walking around in my bare feet, because of my job. And we're going to get to that because it's Labor Day. But, you know, it was interesting. Some woman went on and on, lengthy comment about how trees can communicate through their root system. I Googled that, and they actually do through fungus, some sort of fungus thing. It was very complex, but they can send out messages as far as what nutrients they're short in and what they need. It's crazy, it's complex. But this woman also said that shoes are a barrier that prevents nature from talking to us, because there's all these messages going on in the root system of the plants and the trees. And we've been wearing shoes for all these centuries, and so we've kind of lost contact with some of the vegetation. Now, is that why I'm up here walking around barefooted? No. Am I saying that I believe what this woman was saying? No. And I'm not saying that I don't. When I was reading this, I started thinking, she was talking about how we should walk around barefooted. And I thought, my gosh, why have I not done this? I mean, look around. Look behind me in the background. I have 6 acres, and I keep a trail mode around all of it that I run on, I walk on, my family and I walk on it. There's no sharp objects. I mean, there's no broken glass. There's no briars, and I'm thinking to myself, why have I never just kicked off my shoes and walked around this place barefooted? So I am. I'm walking around barefooted all morning while I'm doing the morning ramble. And it's Labor Day. Thank you for working. Thank you for putting in long hours, folks. I hope that all of you have today off, but I know some of you don't. I know that there are people working in convenience stores, grocery stores, gas stations, probably post offices, who are maybe delivering packages for Amazon Prime. I know that the soldiers, sailors, Air Force, Marine, reservist guards who are maybe on active orders right now. firemen, police people, first responders, thank you to each and every single one of you who are working today. Thank you for keeping this big old wheel going around. Now, with all this said, and a big thank you to everybody who works, whatever job it is you do, because every job is important. I have a big question I want to ask you, and I want you to be honest. And if you're home today not working, this is your time to reflect. Are you happy? Think about your job. With your job, are you happy? Do you like your job? Our jobs, what we do, affects our lives. Okay, I'm a writer. A lot of folks every now and then will come on. If they haven't been following for a while, they say, you got a lot of time on your hands, you need to get a job. I have a job, I'm a writer, and I'm actually okay at it. We're doing okay. So, fortunately, my job allows me to live this lifestyle we live, to where we can homestead and you know, do our best to, you know, grow our own food, raise our own food. Eventually, fingers crossed, get entirely off the grid by getting solar electricity and whatnot. We already have well water. But I love my job, not just because I love to write and because I love to read. And we're taking a road trip today, and we're going to make a video to take you with us. Those of you who live in Virginia, or actually anywhere in the mid-Atlantic, probably know about this. Over in Harrisonburg, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley, there's this place called the Green Valley Book Fair. It's this huge wholesaler of books. They're open maybe half a dozen times a year. They open up for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, then they'll close for 6 weeks, and then they open back up for 2 weeks. But you go in there and you can buy brand new books for like 90% off retail. I'm kind of old-fashioned when it comes to reading. I do read some ebooks. I downloaded the Kindle Reader software onto my laptop. I don't have a Kindle, but I do read Kindle books from my laptop. But I still like to just hold an old-fashioned paperback in my hands. And so we're going to the Green Valley Book Fair today. This is how we're celebrating Labor Day, by me working. I'll go over there and I'll buy maybe 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 books, enough to get me through until they're open again in another 2 months from now. And I might spend $20, $25 max. And for $25, I'll get about $400 to $500 worth of books. Brand new. These are new, newly issued. They're not used, they're not worn, and new titles. So anyway, that's what we're doing today for Labor Day. And you might be watching, you might be thinking, oh wow, you're lucky, you know, you get to do a job you love and you actually are good enough at it to where you can support yourself doing it and your family. Well guys, it wasn't always like that, and those of you who have been loyal subscribers for quite a while know that. Now, I told you to ask yourself that question. Do you like your job? Does your job make you love life, or does it detract from your love of life, and does it make you miserable? I had a job recently, as a lot of you know, there at the U.S. Postal Service, working in Charlottesville, Virginia, under very miserable working conditions, very abusive management, and I quit. We had a drop in revenues there for some time, but they came back. I was able to leave again. I'm now exclusively writing full-time. We're doing the YouTube channel experiment here, which has been going phenomenally well. Thank you, each and every one of you who have subscribed. And thank you for telling us, you know, that we inspire you, because I'm here to tell you, you inspire us. You know, and there's so many comments coming in, and I'm sorry for not remembering all the names, but a woman commented just a few days ago that after she saw our video of us, man, this grass feels good on my feet. I don't know if I'm holding the phone the right way, but this feels good. I thank the woman who left that message about trees communicating through the root systems. I don't know if I'm receiving any signals right now or any messages, but this grass feels wonderful under my feet. So anyway, another woman commented that after seeing our video of us canoeing and fishing, she went camping for the first time in her life. And while she was camping, she went out into the woods and collected acorns to grow oak trees from acorns in containers, because of the videos that we've made of how we grow trees from nuts. That inspired her. Ma'am, if you're seeing this video, thank you for letting us know that, because you inspired me by telling me that story. So anyway, back to our jobs. Do we love what we do? Do we hate what we do? Are we miserable? I'm going to tell you why it is of the utmost importance that I do what I love, and that my job, which is writing, makes me happy. Okay? And I'm going to use an example here. And it's going to kind of a throwback to something I talked about a few days ago in another video, and that was paradigm shifts, how we view the world, how we see things. And this is from the aspect of personal paradigms. This isn't a worldview or a cultural view, but this is a personal view. A lady commented on a video I made about why I left the post office because, you know, it made me miserable. I hated that job. I didn't want to put up with the abuse, didn't want to work 7 days a week for weeks at a time without a day off because of the mandate of the person that was in charge of that post office at the time. So anyway, a lady saw the video, she commented. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry you couldn't hack it. I worked there for 30 years, not at the Charlottesville office, but somewhere else. I was miserable, I put up with the abuse, but I had no choice because I had a son to raise, so I worked there for 30 years. My heart broke when I read that message. And it had nothing to do with the little jab of me not being able to hack it. It had to do with the idea of somebody knowingly being miserable for 30 years and feeling as if they had to be miserable because they had no choice. Because folks, I'm here to tell you we have a choice. Now, and again, you're like, yeah, you say that, you're lucky, you're writing and you do good enough at it to support yourself and your family. Guys, it wasn't always the case. And if you've been subscribing, you know my story of being stuck on an island in a third world country for years, excommunicated, cut off from everybody and everything I knew back here, and living off of rice and whatever we could grow in our yard or whatever we could dig up from the jungle. They were very tough times, but I kept going, I kept going. I kept reading 10 novels a month. I kept writing 10,000 words a day, which is 40 pages in a book, and I did that for 5 years, and then I made it. Now, I personally believe I could have made it earlier in life. I made it when I was about 40 years old. Okay, I'm 44 now. It hasn't been long. I believe I could have made it by 30 if I would have understood something that I did not understand at the time that I understand now. And there's a subscriber named John Schwartz. I'm gonna give him a shout out. He left this quote as a comment the other day because it was relevant to a video I made. Here's the quote John left, and John often leaves quotes, and John, thanks. The quote read, "People's opinions of us bear no reflection on us, but it shows us who the people who gave us those opinions are." And I'm paraphrasing. How we react or how we take people's opinions of us shows us our levels of self-awareness. For many years, I did not pursue my passion. I did not write because there were people in my life who told me writing wasn't work, it wasn't a real job, that ain't work. I just wanted, I was lazy, didn't want to work, was irresponsible, all these things. There were times when I was kind of on my way as a writer where I would have limited success, and these people that told me these things would make sure to come in and damper out my flame. Put it out before a big old bonfire got started and raging. And I understand now, as a man who's survived a war in Iraq, as a man who spent 6 long years, at times very long years, isolated on an island with, fortunately, a beautiful woman who I love, who gave me a son that I love. I know who I am now. I know exactly who I am. And so now if these, you know, I am going to do what makes me happy, and I've done it enough, I've done it long enough and hard enough to where I finally achieved the ability to do it well enough to take care of myself living in the United States, where it's costly, as those of you who live here know. And if, you know, the people that said those things are not in my life. They're not in my life anymore. If someone were to enter my life and make similar comments, they wouldn't be in my life past that point. And I wouldn't be rude. I just, you know, I understand now that, you know, and sometimes people that don't follow the channel regularly and who don't know the story, maybe who are new subscribers, and maybe they'll come on from time to time and say, wow, you have a lot of time on your hands. You need to get a job. Why don't you work? Are you a deadbeat? Well, they just don't know the story and they don't understand who I am and what I do. But those comments don't bother me because they bear no reflection on who I am. They bear a pure reflection on who that commenter is. And my reaction to them is to just keep scrolling and find the comments from the John Schwartzes, okay, or from the lady who went camping for the first time because she saw our canoeing video and who went out and gathered the acorns, and comments from the wonderful woman who made this possible here today. And what I can tell you is that this will not be the last. I mean, I'm walking around in circles, not because I'm manic. I know I probably sound manic, but I'm not. And I'm feeling good because I'm walking around barefooted. Maybe that's why I sound manic. I'm walking around in circles because this feels good. And it feels good because I have a job that I love so much, and it allows me to come out here and kick my flip-flops off in the grass and walk around in my bare feet. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a tale of two workers, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. We know a couple, and I'm not going to mention names, and I'm not going to mention job descriptions or anything, but it's a husband and wife. The husband does what he loves. He works for himself. Sometimes he makes a lot of money. Sometimes he doesn't make any money at all. And but you know, things always seem to work out for him there in the end, just in the nick of time. The wife, if most people knew what she did, they would consider her to be very successful. They would consider her to be very professional, and she gets a steady paycheck. Never has to worry about not getting a paycheck. The man is one of the most pleasant, personable, happy, carefree people I know. And I've seen him at times when he doesn't have enough to pay his part of the bills or chip in. You know, it's a husband and wife both work, 2-income household. He's just still smiling and he's happy as can be. The woman, I can't stand to be around her. I mean, this is, it's just, I'm being honest. She is so miserable, it resonates out of her pores. And she hates her job, but she will not leave. And she's had this job for a very long time. Now, I'm going to bring it back to the woman who worked at the post office for 30 years because she felt she didn't have a choice. And we always have a choice. She stayed because she had a son to raise. I left because I have a son to raise. It's all about paradigm. What is so important for me raising my son, and I'm not judging, and for me, I don't want my son to see me miserable. I want my son to see me happy. I want my son, who is 7 years old, to know that his 44-year-old father will kick off his flip-flops and walk around in the grass barefooted for hours at a time as if he were 7 years old because his father's happy. So, it's Labor Day as of this recording, but this message is really relative whether it's Labor Day or whether it's not. If you don't enjoy doing what you do, why are you doing it? Because it's not 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day if you work at a place like the post office. It's your life. It is your entire life. And it's not too late. You can make a change. And if you think for any reason that you're not qualified to do something else, whoever convinced you to think that way, I hope they're not in your life anymore. And if they are, you might want to consider parting ways with them. You can do anything you want to do. You just got to want to do it. Maybe you need to get retrained. Maybe you need to pick up some new skills. But if you don't have the luxury of knowing what it's like to just kick your shoes off and walk around in the grass, and even more important, if you don't have that desire to do it because you're so happy and so full of the zest for life, then you really don't know what you're missing. So I'm going to wrap it up because we've got the Green Valley Book Fair to go to over in the Shenandoah Valley. I'm going to stock up on books so I can do some more reading and some more writing. But again, this is one of the things I love about my job. This is another quality time, another opportunity to spend quality time with my family. We're taking a road trip. We might find some pick your own peach orchards or apple orchards along the way. We're going to the Shenandoah Valley, and if we do, we're going to stop and do it. So, hope you guys have a great day. Here's your parting shot of the homestead, and we will see you for more next time.